Have you ever felt trapped inside your own mind? As if your thoughts are spinning endlessly in circles, never giving you a moment of peace? You are not alone, and what you are about to discover can change the way you experience life forever. Today, we will explore why overthinking steals your joy, clouds your clarity, and keeps you from the inner calm you have always been seeking. But more importantly, we will uncover practical, powerful ways to quiet the mind, let go of what you cannot control, and step fully into the present moment, a space where true peace, clarity, and freedom naturally exist. This is not about theory or empty advice. It is about awakening a new way of being, a way to reclaim your energy, to stop chasing the illusion of control, and to finally find the stillness that your heart has been longing for. Stay with me, because by the end of this journey, you will not only understand the mind's patterns, but you will also have the tools to break free from overthinking and embrace the life you were meant to live, moment by moment, fully alive. Overthinking is one of the most subtle and destructive traps the mind can create. It begins as a simple thought, a concern about something that has happened or something that might happen, and slowly multiplies, branching into countless scenarios, possibilities, and fears. The mind becomes a labyrinth, endlessly analyzing, questioning, and second-guessing, as if it can solve the mysteries of life through repetition and speculation. Thought seems important, urgent, or unavoidable, and yet, in truth, most of these thoughts are illusions, shadows of reality that never truly existed. When the mind overthinks, it mistakes imagining for experiencing, imagining for acting, imagining for knowing, and in this confusion, it distances itself from the present moment. You may find yourself reliving past mistakes over and over, or imagining future disasters with such vividness that it feels as real as the present. This constant churning exhausts energy, clouds judgment, and steals joy, because while the mind is busy creating problems that do not yet exist, life itself flows unnoticed. Awareness is the only key to break this cycle. To simply watch the mind without judgment or identification is to dissolve its power. When you observe overthinking as if it belongs to someone else, when you see it as a movement of energy rather than a reflection of truth, the endless patterns lose their grip. The mind can be busy, it can be clever, it can be insistent. It once observed, it becomes quiet, pliable, and harmless. Overthinking is not a failure of intelligence or will. It is the mind performing its function without guidance. Recognizing this without blaming, without forcing, without resisting is the first step toward freedom, because freedom begins when the mind's endless narratives are no longer taken as the measure of life itself. Awareness is the doorway through which the mind steps out of its endless cycles of worry and speculation. Most of the time, people are lost in thought, believing they are living, when in fact they are merely reacting to memories of the past or projections into the future. These thoughts feel real because they are accompanied by emotion, yet they are only patterns created by habit. To become aware is not to stop thinking or to force the mind into silence, but to simply notice what is happening without judgment or interference. When you watch your thoughts as they arise, when you recognize the patterns of overthinking as they appear, something shifts inside. The mind is no longer running you, it becomes an object of observation. This simple act of noticing is enough to create space between you and the thoughts, and in that space, clarity and calm emerge naturally. Awareness allows you to distinguish between what is useful and what is repetitive noise. It is like stepping back from a raging river and observing its flow instead of being carried away by it. The more consistently you practice this observation, the more the mind loses its compulsive need to control and predict, because it realizes it is being watched. Awareness is also the seed of choice. Once you are conscious of your thought patterns, you can decide whether to engage with them, transform them, or let them pass like clouds in the sky. Without awareness, the mind acts automatically, endlessly looping over fears, doubts, and regrets. With awareness, life itself begins to unfold with greater ease, because you are no longer imprisoned by reactive thought. The present moment, once hidden behind the fog of overthinking, becomes visible, accessible, and alive, and the simple act of observing without interference becomes a profound path to freedom and peace. The present moment is the only reality that truly exists, yet most people spend their lives trapped in memories of the past or anxieties about the future. The mind has a habit of clinging to what has already happened, replaying events, reliving mistakes and regretting choices, or projecting endlessly into what might come, imagining dangers, failures, or disappointments. In doing so, it misses the only time that is real and alive, the now. True peace cannot be found in the past because it is gone, nor in the future because it has not yet arrived. The present moment, however, is vibrant, immediate, and accessible at every breath. When you allow yourself to fully inhabit it, life stops being a problem to solve or a burden to bear and becomes an experience to live. Being present does not mean denying memory or planning ahead. It means not being enslaved by them. It means touching life directly, moment by moment, with awareness and acceptance. In this state, even ordinary experiences take on a depth and richness that the restless mind cannot create. You begin to notice the subtle sounds, the flow of your breath, the sensations in your body, and the simple beauty of existence. Overthinking loses its power because it exists only in time that is imagined, not in the immediate reality of now. When you anchor yourself in the present, the mind naturally quiets, the body relaxes, and the heart opens. Decisions become clearer, emotions more balanced, and the constant tension of worry begins to dissolve. The present is not a place to escape to, but a space to fully inhabit, a sanctuary where peace is always available. By turning your attention to what is happening here and now, you discover that life, untouched by the projections of thought, carries its own effortless harmony and serenity. Letting go is one of the most profound steps toward inner peace. Yet it is also one of the most difficult for the mind to understand. The mind constantly clings to outcomes, insisting that happiness, security, and fulfillment depend on achieving certain results or controlling circumstances. This attachment creates tension, anxiety, and frustration because life is never entirely within our control. Events unfold in ways that the mind cannot predict, and people behave in ways that defy expectation. The attempt to hold on tightly to what is desired or to resist what is unwanted only increases suffering. Letting go does not mean becoming passive or indifferent. It means releasing the need to force life into a predetermined shape and accepting the natural flow of existence. When you let go, you stop resisting reality and stop identifying yourself with the outcomes of your actions. This does not reduce your capacity to act consciously. In fact, it enhances it, because action arising from clarity and presence is far more effective than action arising from fear, anxiety, or compulsion. Letting go is an inner surrender, a trust in the rhythm of life, and a recognition that you are not life's controller but its participant. When you release attachment, your energy is no longer scattered in futile struggles but becomes available for living fully and authentically. You begin to see that holding on tightly creates the very tension you wish to escape, and that the mind's desire to control is a source of endless disturbance. Through this surrender, freedom arises naturally and the heart becomes lighter. Letting go is a continuous practice because the mind habitually returns to old patterns. Yet each moment of release deepens your experience of peace, allowing life to flow through you without obstruction, and enabling a sense of harmony that comes from aligning with the natural order of existence. Meditation and silence are powerful tools for calming the restless mind. Yet many people misunderstand them as complicated practices requiring strict discipline or long hours of sitting still. In truth, meditation is simply the art of observing without interference, of allowing thoughts to arise and pass without clinging or reacting. Silence, both external and internal, creates the space in which the mind can slow down, step back from its compulsive narratives, and rediscover clarity. When the mind is constantly busy analyzing, judging, and projecting, it becomes trapped in a cycle of overthinking that drains energy and obscures peace. By dedicating even a few minutes each day to conscious breathing, gentle awareness, or simple stillness, you interrupt this cycle. In those moments, the incessant chatter of the mind begins to lose its grip, revealing a calmness that was always present beneath the surface. Meditation is not about forcing thoughts to stop or emptying the mind completely. It is about creating a gentle distance between yourself and the mind's activity. Silence allows you to listen to the subtle rhythms of life, to the sensations of the body, and to the present moment without distraction. It is in this quiet that insight naturally arises, where clarity emerges without effort, and where the mind finds rest in its own nature. Over time, regular practice trains the mind to respond rather than react, to observe rather than cling, and to return again and again to the present when it drifts into overthinking. Even a short period of meditation can transform your relationship with your thoughts, reducing tension and creating an inner environment where peace can flourish. Silence and meditation are not merely practices, they are invitations to experience life directly, to step out of the mind's endless constructions, and to dwell in the calm, open space of awareness. Trusting life's rhythm is an essential step toward inner peace. Yet it often goes against the habitual demands of the mind, which constantly seeks certainty, control, and predictable outcomes. From birth, the mind has been trained to calculate, plan, and anticipate, believing that security and happiness depend on manipulating circumstances and avoiding the unexpected. This need to control creates tension, frustration, and anxiety because life, by its very nature, is fluid, uncertain, and ever-changing. Trusting life's rhythm does not mean becoming passive or surrendering responsibility. It means recognizing that there is a natural order in which events unfold, and that forcing or resisting only obstructs the flow. When you trust life, you accept that every moment, every challenge, and every encounter has its place and purpose, even if it is not immediately visible. This trust allows you to release the constant struggle for control, the endless rehearsing of outcomes, and the fearful anticipation of what might go wrong. It is a deep surrender that opens the heart, softens the mind, and allows presence to arise naturally. When you align with life's rhythm, you notice that obstacles become lessons, challenges become opportunities, and the apparent chaos of existence takes on a subtle harmony. The mind, once accustomed to forcing outcomes, gradually learns to flow rather than resist, to participate rather than dominate. Trusting life also nurtures patience, for it recognizes that everything unfolds in its own time, and that the need to rush or manipulate is a source of suffering. The more you practice this trust, the more freedom you experience, because freedom is not about controlling life, but about moving gracefully with it. In this alignment, inner peace is no longer a distant goal but a living reality, emerging effortlessly when the mind stops clinging, fearing, or demanding, and instead rests in the natural rhythm of existence. In the end, overthinking is not your enemy, it is a signal, a reminder to pause, observe, and return to the present moment. By cultivating awareness, letting go of attachments, embracing silence, and trusting the natural rhythm of life, you create space for peace, clarity, and joy to arise effortlessly. Inner calm is not something to chase or force. It is already within you, waiting to be recognized and nurtured. Each step you take toward observing your mind rather than being consumed by it brings you closer to freedom and a deeper connection with life itself. May this journey of letting go and embracing the now guide you to serenity, balance, and happiness in every moment. Trust yourself, trust life, and allow each day to unfold with ease. Good luck on your path, and thank you for taking the time to explore these truths with an open heart.